Well, I've looked at moving because I'd like to keep more of my money too. And
where should Maher move? How many people moved out of your state, California?
Oh, I know.
Under Newsom?
Yeah, no. People do move. No doubt about that. People move in America, and you're right.
No, but they're not moving because they want a better view. They like to keep more of their money that they earn.
Yeah, that's true.
Florida is a really good case study. So when DeSantis became governor, there were 250,000 more registered Democrats in Florida when he became governor 8 years ago. Now there's 1.4 million more registered Republicans in Florida. That's all migration from COVID and re-registration from COVID, 100%. Right. So it absolutely is happening.
Bill Maher is tearing to the left for what he says is the self-inflicted collapse of once reliably blue cities, arguing that Democrats abandoned everyday voters to chase a loud, radical fringe while residents were left feeling ignored, unsafe, broke, and angry. According to Maher, this shift toward ideological purity over practical governance has turned urban strongholds into cautionary tales, where crime, cost of living, and quality of life issues are brushed aside in favor of political theater. He warns that this isn't just bad policy, it's political self-destruction, one that could seriously endanger the DNC's future if it continues to alienate the very voters who built its base. And if you're into sharp, no-holds-barred political commentary, smash that like button and let's get straight into it.
I read that the current mayor of Chicago has an approval rating of 6.6%.
Rounded up,
but I mean, you were just the ambassador to Japan. If that was your approval rating in Japan, they would do here.
They would do it at 27.
I mean, what's going on in Chicago?
Look, I mean, we were talking about this a little earlier. I mean, you have also the mayor of New York not doing well. Obviously, other things also here in Los Angeles not doing well, the mayor here. Look, and then you got mayors like the mayor of San Francisco and other cities that are doing well. So I would say, look, there is a general rule. I had this when I was mayor. Safe streets, strong schools, stable finances. Focus on those three things and your city's going to be fine.
Rahm Emanuel breaks down why he believes Chicago's mayor is stuck at a disastrous 6.6% approval rating. And in his view, the reasons are painfully simple. Public safety, financial instability, and failing schools. Chicago residents are living with rising crime, budget chaos, and an education system that continues to fall short, while seeing little urgency or focus from City Hall. Emanuel argues that leadership isn't about lofty rhetoric or ideological signaling. It's about fixing the problems people face every day. Instead, voters feel ignored as their quality of life declines, and that frustration is deeply personal. Parents worry about their children's schools, workers worry about safety during their commute, and taxpayers worry about where their money is going. According to Emanuel, the mayor's real problem isn't messaging. It's misplaced priorities, and voters are making it clear they've had enough.
We've gone through 5 years where people became way too permissive of a culture. They were which is why everything's locked up at Walgreens and CVS, and that is a disaster. Yeah. And I'll say this about our schools. I don't want to hear another word about the locker room. I don't want to hear another word about the bathroom. You better start focusing on the classroom. Yeah.
I agree. Look,
we had the worst reading scores for 8th graders in 30 years. And nobody, not a governor, not a mayor, not a president, not a secretary of education is talking about it. We're all wrapped up. Look, in 7th grade, if I known that I could have said the word they and got in the girls' bathroom, I would have done it. We literally are a superpower. We're facing off against China with 1.4 billion people, and 2/3 of our children can't read 8th grade level. So no more about the lot. Wait a second, I'm on a roll for a second.
Yeah.
Rahm is right, and this is where frustration truly boils over. Our public school system is clearly failing. Yet instead of confronting collapsing standards, poor outcomes, and classrooms in crisis, the national conversation was hijacked by debates over locker rooms and bathrooms. While parents were asking why their children couldn't read, write, or compete, leadership was busy chasing cultural flashpoints that affect only a tiny fraction of students. Rahm's point is painfully simple. Fringe arguments were allowed to dominate the discourse while the core mission of education was abandoned. Schools should be about learning, safety, and opportunity, not ideological battlefields. And it's impossible to ignore who led that shift. The Democratic Party placed itself at the center of these debates, prioritizing symbolic victories over practical solutions. The result is predictable. Parents feel unheard, students are left behind, and trust in leadership continues to collapse. This isn't just a political failure. It's a generational one.
To be fair, this is actually,
I was being fair.
No, this is a huge Democratic Party problem. If you look at Democratic cities, they are terribly run. They have incredibly high taxes. It is impossible to build, so the cost of housing. Let me finish. I give you things. The cost of housing is crazy in places like New York and Chicago. If you look at Democratic states, you go look at New York versus Florida, okay? Roughly the same population. The budget of New York State is twice that of Florida. What do they have? Streets paved with gold? I live in New York. I pay the highest taxes in New York. You get nothing for it. And I think that is the image people have of the Democratic Party.
Fareed Zakaria isn't wrong, and more people are starting to admit it out loud. Across the country, Democratic leadership appears to be running once thriving cities into the ground, squeezing residents with crushing taxes, burying them under red tape, and leaving them exposed as public safety deteriorates. Small businesses struggle to survive, middle-class families feel punished for staying, and even basic city services feel slower and less reliable. When people can't afford to live where they work and don't feel safe walking their own streets, they vote with their feet. That's why we're seeing a steady exodus from deep blue cities to places that promise something simpler: lower taxes, fewer bureaucratic hurdles, and a stronger commitment to law and order. This migration isn't driven by ideology alone. It's driven by quality of life. People want cities that work, not cities that lecture them while failing to deliver the basics.
Lots of taxes, lots of regulation, but nothing gets done.
Hey,
and I think
I live in L.A.
Right. And I think, listen, that the Democrats have to own this and realize the answer to everything is not more taxes, more regulation. People are fed up of that, and they feel that it isn't working.
The Democrats, look, as somebody who produced the best graduation growth in the country.
Yeah. And we changed our high school.
You were a good mayor. I agree.
No, that's not the point. The point was we changed, but I'll take that. The point isn't the rules. The point is the results. And the party has gotten way too focused on what the rules are. And I do agree with you on this. We have made it impossible to function as a city or as a state